A wild orchid is something very special. Let me show you. This right here is Ophrys tenthredinifera, the Sawfly Orchid. Why Sawfly Orchid? Well, because it resembles a sawfly. And a sawfly is a wasp-like insect. In fact, the sawflies are part of the tenthredinoidae family, hence the species names of the orchid, tenthredinifera. Orchids like this are a miracle of nature. You just need to look at the flower to understand this. I mean, look how this orchid flower is imitating a female sawfly. And it's emitting pheromone-like scents to attract the male insects. You see, orchids like Ophrys tenthredinifera don't produce nectar. The nectar usually is a sweet treat that attracts the pollinator to the flower. And that's why the orchid has to make up this little trick to attract pollinators. Because pollination ensures future generations. So you see, what happens is that the male insect sees this flower and thinks, oh, a female sawfly. So he attempts to copulate with the flower. Now while he's doing this, he's activating this overhead on the flower that contains pollen. The male fly must come from underneath, like that, up, and then check it out, these two sticks. It's fascinating, it's incredible, look at that. So they contain the pollen, it's going to pollinate the other flower, and now if I try to pull off, look how sticky they are. Look at that, it's really attaching, it's sort of elasticy. So now the male insect has pollen on him. Once the male insect has finished doing his thing, he will go to another flower and do the same thing again, tricked again. But this time he has the pollen of the previous flower and he's depositing it on the new flower. And then the new flower is going to do exactly the same thing. It's going to sprinkle again some pollen, and then that's going to ensure pollination of another flower. So it just goes on and on and on. And it's incredible and it's quite miraculous. Nature is so well made. And let's just pause a second and let's wonder, how does this orchid know what a female sawfly looks like? How does it know to imitate the sort of female sawfly? And how does it know that this will attract the male insects? And how does it know what pheromones smell like? It doesn't have eyes, it doesn't have a nose. So they have evolved to do this, and it's just amazing. So that's why you probably now understand why I find orchids miraculous, really incredible. And also, you must really pay attention and observe because they're quite thin and they're quite small, low to the ground. So finding one is really special. Oh, and by the way, this is a terrestrial orchid. And it's not like the very popular orchids you find in supermarkets or florist shops. Those are epiphytic orchids, which means that they grow on a support, usually a tree in nature. Whereas terrestrial orchids, like most plants, they grow in the ground. Epiphytic orchids have their roots in the air and they absorb water and nutrients from the air. They're quite incredible, but those are more in tropical climates. This orchid dries in dry and hot climates. And this is quite a common orchid, Ophrys tenthredinifera. You'll find it quite a lot on the island of Mallorca, but it's still special, even though it's pretty common, and I love orchids, incredible. So next time you take a walk, pay attention, especially at this time of year, for little orchids that might be hiding, and try to guess what pollinator they are trying to imitate. It's really quite fun.